Okay, and do you need anything else sort of like at the front end, or do you want me to pause and I'll give you enough space that if you just take a second pause or something like that before you kind of dive in, you can just do it sort of like as a formal presentation, as if nobody was there and you were on your live course, and then you can edit, like we can edit these pieces out. So
okay, perfect. You want me to like reintroduce myself then, just so like if you introduce myself, I can be like, thank you, Shelly. As she said, my name is so, this is my profession.
Yeah. I'll kind of like pass it over to you. Just be conscious in the transition that you'll say thanks so much.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Chanlyn. And then that'll give the editing part.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So I will plan to do that then.
Okay. All right. And then I think other than that, we just need to start sharing to the group. So, and I need to advance sharing options. Okay. So try and share your screen now, because it should now let you share.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. So let's take that off, and then you can share after I've introduced you. That'll make it. And then I will also spotlight you as the presenter after I'm done. So.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. And then I will put myself on mute so that there's no other sound as well.
Okay.
Sure that it doesn't look like nobody's joining us in the Zoom, but that's okay, because it'll always be seen in the group. So they're probably just waiting for it there. We have lots of people who watch it that way. Okay, let's go live. And I was actually thinking that there is actually more people on my personal page than in the group. I wonder, I can just actually share it on my page.
Okay.
If you're, because then it reaches more. I want to give you as much promotion as possible. It's something that I'd like to try out anyway, so I don't mind doing this way if you don't. But what do you think about that? Are you good? Oh,
yeah,
good,
that's fine.
Okay, all right. I'll share it to my page then. Select page. Oh no, that's to my own timeline. You should see this public. Good. All right, here we go.
Perfect.
Hi, everybody. It's Shelly Bosch from Parent Dashboard. I am excited today to bring you Parent Dashboard Presents event with Chanlyn Imler, international pediatric coach and all-round superwoman. She is out of Seattle, and I tell you, she is someone who just helps so many people and families with young infants and toddlers. And today we're going to do our special event around how to, get your infant to sleep on their own and to put themselves back to sleep when they're on their own. And I can tell you that I only wish that I'd had someone like Chanlyn when I was a young mom. It was a long time ago now, but it's great to have you here, Chanlyn. And I also really appreciate that I've got a little bit of a cold today, and normally I do kind of like an interview style type format. But Chanlyn has graciously put together a very detailed presentation. So this is going to be like really technical, good information for new moms. And she's going to do it as just a straight through presentation, and we'll ask questions at the end. But if you have questions, thoughts, concerns, or things you want to learn from Chanlyn, normally she does this as like her living. So like we're getting a really lots of value here today, and we want to thank Chanlyn for being here and doing this presentation for us. So thanks so much, Chanlyn. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. Excited to be here.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful day on the West Coast. We're just a little bit north of you, but okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spotlight you, Shannon, so you can, Chanlyn, so I can just, make you full screen, and then you can just take it away, and then I will be able to stop talking because I'm not feeling real great right now. So just hang on half a second here. I'll make you the speaker and pin you as the spotlight. And then I will just let you take it from here. So thank you so much for being here, Chanlyn, and take it away.
Perfect. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Chanlyn. As Shelly said, I am a pediatric sleep consultant and an international correspondent for parents. I work with parents to help them understand their child's sleep needs and physiological functions to get them sleeping through the night. So that is what we are going to discuss today. By the end of this lesson, you are going to have a complete new understanding and also a new confidence when it comes to tackling your child's sleep behavior. So I will go ahead and start. Let's share my screen. So today's lesson is going to be on how to get your infant to fall and stay asleep themselves. I'm going to be talking about the fundamentals and foundation towards optimal sleep. At the end of the lesson, you will understand what these two words mean and how they correspond with your child's sleep. Today, you are going to learn the fundamentals. This is going to be broken up into 3 parts. We have sleep stages, sleep habits, the 4 pillars towards independent sleep, and then we have the foundation towards sleep. And this is broken up into 6 components. This is wake windows, establishing a routine, handling daytime naps, a proper sleep environment, bedtime, and then gentle self-soothing methods. Before we go through that, it is really important to understand the complexity of sleep. Sleep is not as easy as hitting your head on the pillow, closing your eyes, and waking up the next morning. There are different stages that can interfere with your child's sleep. Now, we all shift from light sleep to deep sleep, and then we circle that around several times a night. Newborns will spend more time in light sleep before sleeping into deeper sleep. As they get older, they will be able to go from light sleep to deep sleep much more quickly. How your child is able to do this responds on how good of a sleeper they are. And this is where some children are natural sleepers and some children actually need to be taught how to sleep. Now, a deep sleeper is defined as those who have the longest periods of deep, restful, restorative sleep in those first stages. This means that they have more periods of REM and deep dreaming instead of light sleep. Now, we're going to break this up into different stages of non-REM and REM. Understand though, until the first year of your child's life, up until the first year of your child's life, these stages of non-REM and REM will only last between 40 to 90 minutes long. How long they last completely depends upon the foundation your child has towards sleep. The first sleep stage is non-REM. This is broken up into 3 stages. The first stage is drowsy. This is simply when your child is going to start closing their eyes and drifting. This is where down drowsy but awake is started, especially as a newborn. However, I don't recommend this for older babies that are past newborn stage because the success rate is not very high. The second stage is when your brain activity starts to slow down. Your heart rate starts to slow down, your muscles start to relax, and your body temperature is going to start to drop. This will last between 10 to 25 minutes. You'll probably notice that if you start to transfer your child within this time frame, they will wake up during the transition or after the transition shortly once they're in their sleep space. Now, stage 3 is deep sleep. It is very hard for them to wake up out of this state. If you've ever woken your child up and they feel like they're in a deep sleep and you're having to open the door, turn on the lights, turn off the music, and really wake them up, they are in a deep sleep. You're going to notice that they're still going to be groggy and disoriented even after they have woken up. This is the most restorative form of sleep and one of the most important. The growth hormone is released during this stage. If you've ever woken your child up the next morning and been like, wow, they grew overnight. This is actually a true thing. It means that they have had long periods of that beautiful, deep, restorative sleep. It's also where we regrow tissue, build muscle and bone mass, and strengthens our immune system. When we are sick, deep restorative sleep is the most important thing for our immune system. Now, REM is the last stage. So we have 4 stages. Non-REM is broken up into the first 3, and REM is the last stage. This is rapid eye movement. This is the last sleep phase that we are going to cycle through. This is going to cause rapid eye movement. This is going to cause grunting. This is going to be the stage where development of growth occurs. Our brain is processing and consolidating memories. Thus, this is our dream state. It's really important because it stimulates the areas of a brain that are associated with learning and associated with increased production of necessary proteins that are very important for vital overall health. Most babies will tend to wake up during this stage or after. Some can self-settle to get back to sleep, while others are going to require parent intervention. Now, now that you have all that information, let's go through some common sleep habits that are very commonly used that parents use with their child to get to sleep and where they sleep. Some of the most common ones are props. We have rocking to sleep. We have the breast or bottle. We have the associations, which is the feet to sleep, contact sleeping in your arms, or being put in the parent's bed. There is no negative or positive sleep props. It simply comes down to when your child wakes up during a short nap or in the middle of the night, are they able to self-settle and get back to sleep themselves? Or are they needing you to replay the sequence of events? Are they needing that bottle again to fall asleep? Are they needing their pacifier again to fall asleep? Are they needing your rocking to sleep? This is when it would be considered a hindrance of their sleep because it's not being positive towards sleep. So the only right or wrong is what comes down to you. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you are not getting restorative sleep, then these props and associations are not helpful and are not positive to your child. You want to make sure that the associations and props related to sleep are going to be beneficial long-term for the entire household. You can also layer on these props and associations to prevent dependency. So they're not just needing one thing at a time to get to sleep. Now, the 4 pillars to independent sleep are really important. Your child needs these, or I guess 5, the 5 pillars to independent sleep. Your child needs these in order to create a positive association and habit towards sleep. This is broken up between routine, awake windows, associations, props, and self-soothing methods. Don't worry, at the end of the lesson, you are going to have a much bigger idea of what these 5 means are. Now, what are wake windows? We all hear wake windows all the time, but a lot of people don't understand what they actually are. And the simple term is, it is simply the time that your child is awake between sleep events. This is based around your child's homeostatic sleep drive. This simply means that the longer your baby goes without sleep, the longer he or she will subsequently sleep. And then vice versa. The longer he or she has been asleep, the more pressure to sleep dissipates and the likely he or she wakes up. In short, this means if your child is overtired or undertired, it's going to affect their sleep length for that sleep event. After 16 weeks of age, not every child will follow the same wake windows. So you're really going to want to use wake windows as merely a guide. Most newborns will stick to the same wake windows just because they are so small and their body can't handle large amounts of daytime. The sleep windows are going to work alongside your baby's biological and physiological needs. It is best to figure out your child's sleep cues to figure out their max wake up time between sleep events. Now, wake windows by age. In short, every child between every month are going to have some form of regression. This is going to be developmental, it's going to be cognitive, or it's going to be related to environmental, something medical, such as teething or sickness. And every month, your child's wake window is going to be pushed just a little bit further in increments of about 15 minutes. So as you can see, when your child is born in that newborn phase, for the first 16 weeks, their max wake up time is going to be 90 minutes. As your child hits 12 months, 1 year, their max wake up time is going to be 4 hours. And then by 3 and 4 years, most children are not napping, but if they are, it's probably a 30-minute to 45-minute rest. But as your child grows, the wake window grows too. And a lot of parents don't understand this. But when your child is working on a new skill, they need more time to burn the energy. They are working on a new skill and they need time to perfect that. They need time to burn that extra energy that's coming with that skill. And they're going to need a little bit more time between sleep events. Also, as they get older, their nap lengths are going to decrease as well, especially as they start to consolidate down from 6 naps to 1 nap over the course of their first 18 months. The average sleep needs of an infant and children really vary, but these are the average that research and systematic studies have pulled to be able to give us this information. At 1 week old, your baby is really going to be sleeping for those first 24 hours. Basically about 16 and a half hours of it. The rest of it will be consisted of feeds and some tummy time within that 24 hours. As they get older, about 6 months, you'll start to notice their daytime sleep is cutting down to 4 hours and their nighttime sleep is reaching 10 hours. This means on average, if your child has a good foundation towards sleep, they are going to be able to sleep up to 10 hours in the night. This means that maybe they are no longer feeding one, or maybe they only have 1 feed in the night. Generally, by 6 months old, unless your pediatrician is recommending it, your child does not need a night feed further. They are able to regulate all of those amazing calories into the daytime. So come bedtime, they have filled their body up and they're able to sleep. By 12 months, when your child is 1 year, the daytime sleep is drastically going to decrease. It's going to cut down to about 2.5 hours. Usually around 12 months, your child is mobile. They're either learning how to walk or they are walking. Maybe they're learning how to run and they have a lot more energy, and it takes a lot more time for them to burn off that energy to get ready for a sleep. Now, you'll also notice that the daytime sleep and the nighttime sleep start to decrease, but the nighttime sleep grows. So that's really what is the focus here, is as your child comes out of that newborn stage, or even by the first month, the nighttime is the optimal stretch for sleep. And we really want to make that a focus. A lot of parents and a lot of my clients make that common mistake where they're so focused on daytime and getting so much sleep in the daytime that the nighttime is being affected. So as they get older, the daytime naps simply become a space to release some sleep pressure and then keep going on with their day. But you want to make sure that the nights are remaining to be optimal. Now, routines are so important. We hear routines all the time. Our children thrive on routine. A lot of people confuse a routine and a schedule, but they're actually very different things. With a schedule, you're following the clock. And with a routine, you're following just a sequence of events. It is a fixed program. This helps organize the day's events, implement that consistency, and provide stability throughout the day. It's not only helpful to your child, but it's helpful to us as parents as well. It's going to make you feel organized and prepared for your day. You will be able to practice good time management and still have some control to your day. There are so many benefits to providing a routine to your child. It has been linked to family routine and social skills and academic success. Children can cope with change easier when they have a regular routine. The more consistent you are with the routine allows the days to be flexible, and you can go back to the routine the next day. We all have those days where things don't go as planned, But when you're consistent and you have a routine, it's okay to have those days because the next day things will go back to normal. Routines can be modified slowly to follow the changes, and stress reduction has been linked as a physiological benefit to having a routine. Now, with your child, consistent routines, activities that happen in the same sequence of events provide comfort and a sense of safety. Knowing what will happen next gives our children a sense of security and emotional stability. This is so important for our children. It also helps them learn that to trust caretakers will provide what they are needing. This is great if you have an external babysitter, nanny, or they're in an internal daycare center and they're being cared by someone. When children experience a sense of trust and safety, they are free to do their work. This is really their eat, play, explore, learn, eat, and sleep. Stable routine build confidence within your children, and they give them a sense of control as they come into toddler years. Toddlers are coming into their independence, they're coming into who they are as a person, and they want to be able to control certain aspects of their life. And this is a great way for them to be able to have that. You can look at routines as a guide to your child's actions towards a specific goal. This means if your goal for that day is to be successful with naps, that's your child's goal. If your goal today is to work on your child's skill, that's your goal. It's a great way to work on one isolated goal at a time. After 6 weeks old, your child's brain can start piecing together these sequence of events, and they can start to understand the blueprints of their day. It's really incredible, but by 6 weeks old, our child's brain is formed enough to understand patterns. Now, they have lifelong benefits to your child. So start small, start simple, modify along the way, and always leave room to grow. But there's a lot of benefits to a routine, so don't be intimidated to not start one. Now, when we talk about daytime naps, so many of us are so intimidated and scared with daytime naps. They're either flops or they're successful. Now, some great tips on how to be successful with daytime naps is, the first one is wake your child up each morning at the same time. This is going to start to develop a 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. Our circadian rhythm runs on 24 hours. So we want to break it up into 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. This allows your child to give optimal time in the daytime to do what they need to do and rest in the night. As we get older, our nights become shorter and shorter and shorter, especially as your child gets older and they start to have more homework, more activities. They're not always going to get 12 hours of sleep. So for the first 3 years, really focus on building 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. You're going to want to create a daytime routine. You're going to want to follow wake windows to stay ahead of your child getting overtired. You're going to want to create a nap wind down time. This is going to be a shorter version of what your bedtime routine is. And I will go through that in a few slides. Now, for a nap wind down time, this is going to be an easy read a book, turn out the lights, turn on the white noise if that's what you use, and child goes in their sleep space. It's very simple, but it's enough time for your child's brain to understand that playtime is over and it's now time for sleep. Keep in mind of your child's sleep latency. This is really important. This is the time it takes for a person to fall asleep. We all have it and your child has it. You want the average to be between 10 and 20 minutes. This is normal. If your child goes down their crib and they're hanging out for 15 minutes, and you're like, oh, they're not tired. Nope, this is perfectly normal. This means that your child is tired, but they're not overtired and they're not undertired. You want to make sure that you are capping naps at 2 hours. After 12 to 16 weeks, your child's daytime sleep is going to affect their nighttime sleep. So that's when you are going to want to cap those 2-hour naps. After, you'll do that until they hit about 1 nap, and then you'll find that they'll go back to that 2.5-hour 3 range. Once your child consolidates down to 2 naps, you will stick to a set nap schedule. This again is going to help your child's homeostatic sleep drive. This can also be achieved at 3 naps too, though it's a little trickier. A simple routine for daytime can be broken up upon between the following. Eat, play, and sleep is one of the most common ones. It is so simple and it's really easy to achieve. Feeds during the day should be kept within the wake window. You want this to be focused on the start of the wake window. They should be about 20 to 30 minutes on the breast, or a minimum 4 ounces on the bottle. Now, this isn't going to immediately happen when your child is a newborn. For the first 4 weeks, your child's stomach is smaller than an egg. So they are only going to be able to take in maybe 1 to 2 ounces, and they're going to need that every 1 to 2 hours. So this is really more focused on that 16-week range. As your child gets older, their naps start to become consolidated. Their feeds are going to be spaced out between every 3 to 4 hours. If your child is more hungry and they're able to take up to 8 ounces in a feed, they're going to be spaced out between 4 to 5 hours. Active tummy time should always be given every wake window. There are so many studies that show us that tummy time is superior. Engaging your child is great for social activity. It's great for understanding playtime, and it's great for them to understand you too. So get on that floor, engage with your baby, and play together. Nap is the last part of the eat, play, and sleep. As your child gets older, this routine can stay constant, providing stability and growth and trust throughout their day. Meaning, as your child gets older and they're on one nap, you can still follow this routine. As they cut out their nap, you can still follow this routine. So it's very simple. A proper sleep environment is really important to help your child's brain understand it is time to sleep. We all struggle sleeping in certain environments, whether it's in a car, it's on a plane, it's in the lights. Your child is no different. They really need that stage set to understand what is expected out of them. Now, we all benefit from a proper sleep environment. This is a really nice, safe mattress with breathable sheets that allow your child from preventing from overheating. A cooler room between 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit or 18 to 22 Celsius. It is always best to keep TVs and computers and lights out of the bedroom and off before bed. A lot of TVs, a lot of screens emit blue rays, and they stimulate the neurons in your child's brain, signaling it is time to be awake instead of it is time to sleep. You can use blackout curtains, you can use blackout blinds to keep all that light out of their room. This is really great for the premature early light or that late daylight, especially in the summer when it's still dark at 10 p.m. at night, light at 10 p.m. at night. Now, a sound machine, I know so many people are against sound machines, but don't be afraid of sound machines. As long as the decibels near your child's head are around 55 to 60, they are perfectly safe and they're not going to damage hearing. I really love a sound machine because it helps drown out distracting sounds and it helps promote sleep and keep sleep. Your child is going to be tuned in to your sounds and they're going to want to stay with you and hang out with you. And if they're sleeping and something happens, a noise happens, they're going to wake up and it's going to be harder for them to get back to sleep. So prevent that by just getting a sound machine. Comfortable PJs. You can also do a sleep sack, which I love. There's nothing wrong with a sleep sack. It provides warmth, comfort, and protects their limbs from getting stuck in the cot or crib bars. You're also going to want to keep the sleep area associated to sleeping. Avoid toys in the crib, putting a mobile over the crib, and feeding your baby directly in the crib. Now, safe sleep guidelines are very simple. They're just flat, firm, non-inclined sleep surface. Infants are best to be sleeping in parents' room until about 6 months old. This is due to the SIDS risk. No weighted sleep sacks or weighted blankets for infants under 1 year. This is simply because we don't want to restrict movement. We want them to be able to sleep safely and freely. We want to prevent overheating by dressing infant properly. You can use the pacifier or a dummy for the first 12 months. And it is recommended to not use any over the crib nets, bumpers, or pillows. They are not safe for sleep and they risk asphyxiation and suffocation risks. Now, a simple bedtime routine is going to be broken up between almost like a more elongated part of your daytime. And bedtime should be set each night within 45 minutes of the 12-hour mark from when your child wakes up. This means if your child is waking up at 7 a.m., the latest they should go to bed is 7:45 p.m. For timing, it is really recommended to start the routine 45 to 60 minutes. You don't want it to seem rushed, but you also don't want it to seem too long. For bedtime, a routine helps them start to differentiate between the day's events and into the nights. You can start a bedtime routine as early as they come home from the hospital, or about 6 weeks when day and night confusion can start to show appearance. This is also going to help make sleep events different because they're going to be able to understand that this is the day and this is the night. And this is something that you should be able to repeat nightly. So it's really important when making a bedtime routine that you're able to repeat this nightly. Now I'm going to break up this routine into 2 parts. We have the out of the room part, which is a simple bath, and then we have massage, lotion, and PJs on. Massages are so good for our babies. They help with gut health. They help with teething pain. They help with our immune system. Always make time for just even a 5-minute massage on your child. If your child is suffering with eczema or dry skin, you don't need to do a whole bath. You can simply just do a wet cloth over their body to still give that association that we are changing the day's events. Now, part 2 is what I call the in-room part. This is going to be, and you're going to want to do the breast or bottle after bath, after the massage, lotion, and PJs. This is simply to pull away any feed to sleep associations, so your child is being fed in a separate room than where they are going to sleep. Now, the in-room part is broken up between, you have reading your books, then you have your lights out, white noise on, you have one last snuggle session, and then you're simply going to put your child in their sleep space and they're going to drift off to sleep. This is the ideal setup for bedtime, and it's very achievable. Now that you understand how to set the proper stage with a sleep environment and wake windows and a routine, we are going to work on now how to produce further independent sleep skills. This means we are going to understand what a self-soother is and what a self-settler is. A self-soother can assess, adjust, and get to sleep all on their own. And a self-settler can reassess, readjust, and fall back to sleep on their own. These are 2 very important skills that are needed to create a good independent sleeper. It's going to be daily practice and introduction. It's not something that you can just do one night and have it installed. Now we're going to go through some gentle self-soothing methods. We all hear sleep training and we cringe. We immediately think cry it out or the fervor, and that's not the case. You do not have to leave your child to figure out their own situations by themselves and let them cry. You can be there at their side and support them. One of my most popular methods I use is the chair method. This is where you are going to sit in a chair beside your baby's crib. So once you've done your whole routine, the out of the room and in-room part, your child is now in their sleep space. You're going to start the method. You're going to sit by your baby's crib and you're going to try to avoid picking them up. You want to help teach them that you are there for them and offer that emotional availability. It's really important that your child learns that they can be comforted with other means than you having to pick them up, especially if you have more than one kid or you even have twins or multiples. It's really important that they can feel comforted by your presence, by your voice, by your touch, and not need that physical engagement. You're going to sit in the chair until they fall asleep. And that is what you will do. Every 3 nights, you can move the chair further away based on your child's own progress. That's the setup. So it's really great. Once the chair no longer exists, the whole bedtime routine ends with a hug, a kiss, and you're going to walk out of the room. Another method is the bedtime fading method. This is one that's a little bit trickier. It's going to take a lot longer to do because you're going to follow your child's sleep cues. So instead of following the clock, you're going to follow your child's sleep cues. So when they start to get really tired, when they start to rub their eyes, when they start to arch their back, when they start to get really cranky and yawning and all of those really good sleep cues, you're going to start your routine and you're going to put them down for bed. This is going to help induce those sleep signals, and you're still going to place the baby down for bed, and you're going to comfort with picking up. So when they're crying, you're going to pick up and put back down. This is kind of another method of the pick up, put down method, but it's called the bedtime fading because you're simply going to work into their designated bedtime zone. So when it's finally achieved that they're able to go down for sleep easily, you're going to start to increase it every 15 minutes to hit your designated bedtime. This can vary between parents to parents. Some parents want a 6 p.m. bedtime, some parents want a 10 p.m. The last method is the pick up and put down method. This is very similar to the bedtime fading method, but you are going to follow your child's wake windows and you will continue to stay in the room. And you are still going to have that option to pick your child up when they start to become fussier, longer than 5 to 10 minutes. It's really important that you listen to your child's cries. You know, they all have different means to their cries. And sometimes the is just them getting fussy and they're trying to settle. And then you have the really good, upset, I'm looking for help, I'm scared type cry. And those are the ones that you're going to want to pick them up and respond to. The best way to do is to hold your child against your chest. You're going to rock them and then lay them back down in their crib once they're calm. This method, though, however, can be very unsuccessful with babies over newborn stage, just because that pick up and put down can be very stimulating. And each time you put them back down once they're calm, it can actually make them more upset. And that's not what we want them to do. We want them to associate bedtime as this good, positive way to end the night. Now, to be successful with sleep, these are some of my best tips. It's going to be trial and error to figure out what method works best for you and your household. Give it at least 1 to 2 weeks of staying consistent with one method. Your child's temperament is going to play a key role in deciding this factor. Please note that there is no such thing as a cry-free sleep method. Your child's crying is their one means to articulate and voice protestation. In the beginning, when your newborn is crying, they're trying to tell you if their diaper is wet, if they're hungry. And as they get older, it might mean that they're tired, they have tummy troubles, their teeth hurt. They cry to communicate to us. So there's no such thing as a cry-free method, but you can control it. And make sure that their daytime schedule and routine play into their bedtime setup. So it's helping them and not hindering them. This means that their wake windows are proper. If bedtime is being pushed out further, then the daytime naps should be reevaluated. You want bedtime and awake time to be cemented. They should not move. The daytime should be modified. Once you find a method that works best for you and your family, you're going to want to follow through with it, start to match it, using it for naps if needed, and always use it as the base of your child's foundation. So when they have teething, when they are sick, when they're going through a natural regression, this is your child's foundation towards healthy sleep. Now, to recap everything that we have discussed today, what makes a good sleeper? And it's a stable foundation towards sleep. As I just said, this is going to be your child's wake windows, the routine, are helpful props and associations, and a self-soothing method. It's also going to be broken up into a proper sleep environment, the ability to self-soothe and self-settle, consistency and follow-through, and understanding your child's own needs. All of these components are needed to make a good sleeper. I know this sounds like a lot of work, and some children naturally can gravitate towards being good sleepers, and some children need to be taught. And this is the best way to teach our child to be taught. The earlier that they are taught how to sleep better, how to perform the function of sleep better, the better it is going to be all around for the household, because the more that they have time to become dependent on all of those props that are not helping their sleep, the harder it's going to be for them to pull off. Don't wait until your child's 2 years old to finally wean them off everything. They're going to be much older. The protestation is going to be much more difficult, and it's going to be harder for everyone. So if you can stay ahead of it, early. It doesn't just have to be a brush movement. You can work on the wake windows first. When you feel confident with those, then work on the routine. When that's really strong, start to look at their ways that they're using to get to sleep. Am I helping them or am I hindering them? Every time they wake up, do they need that replay? And finally, if your child is needing extra help, you can use one of those amazing self-soothing methods. And that is it. The knowledge of understanding baby sleep is the gift that keeps on going. And it really is, because you can apply this to all aspects of your child's life whenever they hit something that derails their sleep. But yes, thank you. That is my presentation. I hope we have all learned some new things, are feeling empowered with our child's sleep. And I know that we probably have a bunch of questions. So I'm happy to take some time now and go through them and help give you some answers.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Chanlyn.
Right.
That was amazing. Yeah, we have had such a mini course essentially given to us here. And if any of you are inclined, Chanlyn does this. This is just the general information that she gives out. This isn't even specialized information that she works in with families to really narrow down to their specific situation and help coach them through their individual problems. So this is something that you do on the regular, Chanlyn, so I wanted to ask you, I know we normally do kind of more of a interview style. Can I just ask you, like, what's the most common, which part of those things is the most common, or is it, what else are parents asking you about? What's the most common thing that you get as a question?
Yes, the most common thing I get is short naps, how to handle short naps. And what I mean by short naps, I'm talking about a nap that's between 20 minutes to 45 minutes. And parents are not understanding. Some newborns will have a drastic change at 16 weeks when they go from 2 sleep cycles to the 4 that I discussed.
Right.
And they are in light sleep more frequently, meaning that they're having trouble going back to sleep. And if your child doesn't know how to get back to sleep without that ability to self-settle, they're going to need you each time when they wake up. So thus, short naps are created. So the most common question is, how do I handle short naps? And the answer is, make sure those wake windows are putting your child down when they're perfectly at that rested state for sleep, and that they're able to self-settle. If they're very reliant and they're using some form to get to sleep that requires your intervention, just know they are going to wake up and they're going to need your help again.
Right. Yeah. And I imagine, their little brains are growing in there and they're associating things. So you're kind of like doing it along. I really wish that I'd had someone to kind of coach me along too, because then you have to kind of like go back and untrain things when you can just get it right the first time. So really appreciate that. Thanks. Now, I understand you also have a Facebook group that people can join.
Yes, I do. I do have a support group, and I also just have a page as well where I post some, content each week just to give some new information on sleep.
Excellent. Okay, well, we'll make sure that we post those in the chat links where we've posted this video, and just really appreciate so thorough of a detailed, breakdown on all of the pieces that new parents are going to need to be able to help them navigate through, because this stuff babies don't come with a manual, right? And it's really helpful.
Oh.
It's really helpful in this day and age when, everybody's everywhere and we're all separated and we don't always have that extended family help to have that extra coaching. So deep appreciation for your time and knowledge and sharing today. Thank you so, so much. And if you guys have found this valuable, please, look Chanlyn up. We'll put links to all of her things down in the chat, and leave comments or questions if you're watching it on replay, it'll always notify us, and then Shannon will be happy to come back and answer questions. And and if you liked this, feel free to join our Parent Dashboard official community, particularly if you have special needs kids. We are all about supporting parents in their journeys and have lots of resources like the one we had today. This one applied to more than just special needs parents, so we're happy to be able to share it a little bit more broadly, but we're always providing resources there as well. And in case you want to know more about upcoming events, you can visit our ParentDashboard.ca website as well. And yeah, we've got a couple of great events and groups and resources coming up. We just opened if you're not getting the sleep and your mental health is maybe taking a turn for the worse, or you've had a really hard time with your complex needs kid lately and you just feel like you're burning out as a caregiver, we've just opened up a caregiver mental health support group, so look for that. And the other thing that happens sometimes in complex needs families is finances, especially right now, can become a pressure. So and especially when your child is sent home or you've got so many doctor's appointments for them that you can't even have a job or anything like that. So we put together a 2-day mini workshop on how complex needs parents can have flexible earning options from home. So we'll pop that in the chat as well, but that's coming up on July 2nd and 3rd for 2 hours on the Saturday and 2 hours on the Sunday. So we'll pop the landing page in there. So Chanlyn, thank you so much again for being here today, and we will end the broadcast and look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Take care.